Okay, we are finalizing our little mini like 2 lesson unit on exponents with negative bases. On your topic, you're going to simplify negative base exponents with order of ops. Learning target, you can simplify expressions with integer, positive and negative, counting numbers. Based exponents using proper order of ops. Okay, PEMDAS. Parentheses in exponents are the most important thing in the universe, in math universe. So parentheses, let's use parentheses and exponents. Now you already know this because PEMDAS says this represents parentheses and this represents exponents. You already know that, but I reiterate it all the time. They're always the most important. Okay, we got 2 situations here with our negative bases, okay? If the negative is outside the number, you just leave outside. You just figure it out, leave the negative on the outside. So if it's outside, let me use a different color. If it's outside the number, leave outside. I'm erasing, I'm not liking red right next to red. I'm into green. If it's outside the number, keep it outside. If the negative is inside parentheses, you look at the power of the exponent. Meaning, is it even or is it an odd number? So if the negative is inside parentheses, you look at the power of exponent. Meaning, is it even or odd? If it's even, it's going to be a positive number. If it's odd, it's going to be negative. Think if you have an odd amount of people, someone feels sad, and it's negative to feel sad if you're partnering up. Okay? All right, here we go. Just jumping right into examples. So this, I say it as 4 times the sum of negative 5 and 2 squared. That's how I verbalize that. I'm just going to start plucking away inside my parentheses first. 4 times negative 3 squared. Now I knew that negative 3 was inside parentheses because the initial part was inside parentheses. So that tells me that negative stays with it. All right, negative 3 squared is negative 3 times negative 3, which is 9. 36 is the final answer. Okay, now keep in mind, I could have used the strategy there when the negative is inside the parentheses, like I have going on here. Now I look at the exponent, it's even, that tells me my answer should be positive, so it's a positive 9. Okay, next one, I have negative 3 squared plus 1 minus 5 squared. Okay, PEMDAS is parentheses first. So it's negative 3 squared, that's just me rewriting, plus 1 plus a negative 5 is a negative 4 squared. I know the negative is inside parentheses because I was given parentheses at first. Okay, now I got 2 different exponents, so I can just work my way left to right. Here the negative is outside the number, that's this situation, so I'm just going to leave it outside. 3 squared is 9, keep it negative. Plus, now I have the negative inside the parentheses. I'm going to evaluate it. 4 squared is 16. It's an even exponent, so that tells me my answer will stay positive. Okay? All right, now I'm adding opposite signs. I take their difference, and then I determine which one is further from 0. The positive is further from 0, so it will stay positive. 3 times the next one on the left. 3 times negative 6 squared. All right, so I have negative 6 is inside parentheses and even power, so that tells me that it's going to be positive. 3 times a positive 36. just going to do some multiplying on the side here. 108 is the final product. Okay, 4 minus a negative 2 to the 5th. What a lot of students see is this. That's my favorite mistake. Students do that all the time. And what is wrong with that situation?
You didn't follow PIMDAS.
You didn't follow PIMDAS. Because although it works because this is an odd number, so it is going to stay negative, if this was an even number, the answer would not be a negative. Okay, so we got to be careful for things like that. You always got to follow PIMDAS. So this turns into 4 minus 2 to the 5th. It's negative 2 to the 5th. So I'm going to figure out 2 to the 5th and make it negative because I have an odd number. Okay? 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. That's 4 plus 32, which is 36. Evaluate we talked about yesterday. It just means that we plug numbers in. I say evaluate this expression, it just means I'm going to tell you plug something in eventually. Oh goodness, okay, evaluate negative 6 m squared for m is equal to negative 2. You have to be careful, there's 3 things going on. You got a negative, you got a 6, and you got an m squared. Okay, so you want to be very careful. This m is all of this. It's not just 2, it's negative 2. Put it in parentheses. This turns into negative 6 times negative 2 squared. Order of ops is take care of my exponents. So, my negative is inside the parentheses. I have an even power, so it's going to be positive. 2 squared is 4, so it's negative 6 times 4, negative 24. All right, now I got negative 2x cubed plus 4y. 4, x is 2 and y is 3. So I'm going to plug the 2 in right there, and I'm going to plug the 3 in for the y. Okay, so this turns into negative 2 times 2 cubed plus 4 times 3. Now notice how I isolated my multiplication with a dot, because anytime a number is sticking next to a letter, it means multiply. So I kind of expand that out when I'm plugging in, just so I know. Order of opposite, I do 2 cubed. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So it's negative 2 times 8 plus 12. And I just kind of evaluated that slide, which is negative 16 plus 12. Adding different signs, you take their difference. The negative is further away from 0, so it's negative 4. Minus x cubed for x is negative 2. X is all of this, so you need to make sure to tell the problem solver that it is the whole thing. That's why I put parentheses down. So it's 12 minus negative 2 cubed. So the negative's inside the parentheses. I have an odd power, so I know it's going to be a negative. And 2 cubed is 8. This turns into 12 plus 8, which is 20. Lastly, finally, last example of your day. A is negative 3. We're evaluating a squared plus 2a plus 4 for a is negative 3. A is all of that. It's all of negative 3. So I make sure to put it in parentheses. So now I'm going to go negative 3 squared plus 2 times negative 3 plus 4. Order of opponent, negative 3 squared. It's inside parentheses, even power, so it's going to be positive 9 plus a negative 6 plus 4. 9 plus a negative 6 is 3 plus 4. Final answer of 7. That's a lot. That's a heavy load right there. What we just did, negative base exponents are very abstract, but good job.